Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wonders out there. It is 5 o'clock on June 11th, 2025. It is a Wednesday. I am AuthorTube's lesbian psychic stoner, KibbyRose, and I'm here to entertain you with some current events, fulfilling some predictions that I've made, and giving you some future predictions. Because wow, did I say it was going to be karmic June, or did I say the hammer was coming down in karma June? Yeah. Did I say that? Yeah, I did not say that right. I did great up until that point. But anyway, we're going to run the opener and just go from there. All right, so it is a full moon in the middle of summer solstice. Things are popping off. The sun is popping off. Energies are popping off. Karma is popping off. Everything's popping off everywhere. I have the energy of a 5-year-old. I've been going crazy today. Yeah, it's just been one of those days. So I am busy getting stuff done. I have a list of things to talk about because, yeah, that's what we're here to do. So hello and welcome. Thank you. And hello to all my new subscribers. I do see you and I appreciate you. Go ahead and like and subscribe when you, or like the videos when you watch them, or comment down below any questions, or just throw in your information or anything else. Start the conversation. I don't mind. For everybody else, go ahead and subscribe to the video. If there's 50% of you that watch that aren't subscribed. So that seems to be the average. I hear it all the time with YouTubers on, on YouTube when I watch my videos, but, I guess that's pretty much average, but 50% of you that watch me are not subscribed. So subscribe to the video. Anyway, or subscribe to my channel. It really does help. Getting up to 500 subscribers is the goal. 200 by the end of the summer. I don't think I'll make it, but one is hopeful. 500 in order to start doing super chats. So on Fridays, I can start doing paid chats for all of you subscribers out there instead of all my clients. Or if you do want to become a client and you want to get a reading on Friday and you don't want to wait until we hit 500 subscribers, all that information is down below. Go ahead and email me. Just put in the title subject line, new client. Send me your information. Let me know which readings you want, and we'll go from there. It's really easy peasy. Just send me an email. From there, I will know exactly what you need and everything else. So trust me, it's very interesting how things work with me. But anyway, for any of you that are wanting to test out my skills before you become clients, on June 20th of this year, the summer solstice, which is Wednesday, I'll be doing free readings for that 2-hour stream. So if you want to come in there, then test my skills, get a free reading, see if you want to become a client. That's going to be your best time. I do these free reading days every once in a while. So if you are subscribed, keep an eye out. I am going to be scheduling the streams later today. I had a lot on my plate in the last 2 days. For those of you that have already watched not only the unboxing video of me moving my office, but also the Snow White reaction video from Cora and Mai's new channel, thank you so much. If you haven't already, down below, we have the links, we have the descriptions and everything else. Go ahead, go check it out. Snow White is already up. It got posted yesterday. Lilo and Stitch happens tomorrow. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the uploads. We're doing them at 2 p.m. I'm going to change that because also on my channel, if you haven't noticed, if you haven't already, the unpacking video, it shows the extent of what I had to go through to move my office into my office. It also gives you a nice little view of what I'm actually working with behind the scenes. And then I also, on Thursday, we are starting the Rants Without Sprints uploads. So next Thursday, or this Thursday, you're going to have the very first episode where I'm going to be posting the very first episode I ever did on September 14th of 2021, and it's going up tomorrow. It's without any of the sprints. And I really have to give myself a little bit of credit, considering I've been kind of hard on myself, because I've come a long way in a very short amount of time. And I wasn't even applying myself to my YouTube channel 100% yet. So on that note, look down below. There's a bunch of new links. Email me if you want to become a client. Check out the Cora and Kibby Reacts new YouTube channel. Check out the videos under my video file, because we've got a lot coming. So like, subscribe, do all the YouTubey things, and thank you to all my new subscribers. Also, Amy, to answer your question, my tattoos. I forgot that some of you haven't been following me that long and first of all, had no idea I had tattoos. That's good news to me. That's the kind of the way I wanted them, so that if I worked professionally, I could hide them all. Second of all, to show them off a little bit, because Amy wanted to know. This tattoo on this forearm, you can't see it very well, but it says, a creative adult is a child that survived, and for a dreamer, night is finally day. And that kind of is, if you're an artiste and a creative, it probably makes sense. And then on this side, you can see it a little bit better. It says, because through music, we can live forever. And we have the treble clef and the bass clef, and then music notes. And this is in honor of my mother, because she was a music teacher for 30 plus years. Then I have my protective symbols, my Irish, my Celtic knot, because I'm Irish, and then my pentagram. And then what you were seeing is half of a tattoo. Is it? Yeah, it's on this side. Okay, so I have a moon and butterflies here, but it actually extends down into this tattoo, which is it's basically, and this love has no is basically what it says down below, but it has no sex, has no creed there, and it was a really pretty tattoo. One of my friends designed it. And then this one on this side is my hummingbird for my grandmother, because my grandmother loved hummingbirds. And those were the ones I have on my arms. And then I have my moon behind this ear. So those are just some of them. I have a total of like 24, I think. They're mostly all butterflies, but yeah, I can show this one. I have this one as well, which is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is my semicolon butterfly in honor of, well, if you know what the semicolon represents, then you know why. So, and then I have on my back, I have a Scorpio, and then I have the writing on my lower back. That one I actually can show. I have this one, and that one's hard to read, but it says, the only way of knowing the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. And the other ones I can't show is a really big one that one day eventually I'll get a picture of it, but it goes from here to here, here to here, and it's an Alice in Wonderland tattoo that I designed myself. And then I have a butterfly on my ankle. I've the two butterflies on my back. I have a Mickey Mouse symbol right here. I think that's everything. Have I been getting tattoos my whole life? Yes. This is the most recent one, in case you're wondering. I actually just got this one about, less than a year ago. It was actually a trade for a young lady around here in Spokane that I did a reading for. So that's to answer Amy's question. And I knew I needed to do that first before anything else, because I would forget. But for anybody who was wondering, those are my tattoos. They were distracting me last time as well, so I don't blame Amy for being distracted by them. Also, yeah, I don't think I've gone sleeveless on my channel except for yesterday, so I can understand why maybe there was some curiosity about it. So anyway, hi Cora. We'll be in and out because of dinner, then bedtime. Still video editing because I forgot I had to add a text. Oh no, to what the scammer is saying because the sound was so bad. Ah, man, this video is just it's throwing you for some loops lately. Like it's almost like you're gonna work for this video. I don't know why, but it's like they're making you work for this one. Yeah, you know, considering I've kind of had a rough, frustrating couple of days, but the karmic hammer has been coming down for the last 10 days for everybody. And I've noticed that the days that people have gotten hit have been kind of frustrating days for me. Not like bad days, but just like pens will fly out of my, you know, frustrating days, you know, and that's kind of the way it has been for me. But I will take the frustration over what the heck ever else is coming down for everybody else this June, because woo doggy, it's a lot. It is a lot. So on that note, we are 11 minutes in. We're going to jump into our first 10-minute sprint. So we do have 10 minutes on the clock. So after this, I am going to talk a little bit about the LA riots because inevitably, guys, I was right. And they're starting to figure it out. And not only that, but I actually heard a piece of information today, a little news article, where they figured out the third cornerstone to everything. I forgot to put on lipstick. I will also be taking care of that during the next sprint. I just noticed that. And then we're going to be talking about Greta Thunberg, because if you haven't heard about her, karma, total karma for her. I have a little rant to continue about a particular location that I maybe had ranted about a little bit ago. And yes, I have a rant about I'm going to continue my rant about YMCA because, guys, the discrimination is real. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is Blake Lively and Justin Baldone, because yeah, it is what I knew. I knew it wasn't over, and I knew Blake was taking a pre-victory lap, and I knew eventually it was like my angels were like, no bother talking about it. It's going to be exposed quickly. But we've got more. We've got some stuff that they're missing. So 10 minutes on the clock. I will see you all in 10 minutes. And in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget. And Amy, I am listening to music today because I am editing my pictures. The Armin van Buuren Live at Untold Festival 2023. I'm at timestamp 2.08.29. Okay, love ya. And time is up. That's the end of that sprint. And we're going to remove and move some things around here in the background. So there we go. All right. So how did we all do? Did we get some work done? I did. I was able to get quite, gosh, I didn't even count. I honestly don't even know. Actually, here we go. It started right there. Like I can tell just by the timestamp on it. Okay, so I got 13 items selected or screen grabbed, whatever you want to call it. That was the progress I did. I'm doing screen grabs for season 2, episode 4 of the Dance Mom picture episode series that you see me doing voiceovers and everything else for. So that's what I'm working on. Anyway, if you're doing progress, if you're doing work, put it in the comments because I like to cheer you on. I put good energy towards projects so that they get done and get taken care of quickly, even if you hit frustrations. 2 minutes left to go. Woo-hoo, and go through and edit. Very nice. And the little ones are going to get tough here in a little bit because, I can feel it. Because they're not handling bedtime well. Anyway, so a couple things I wanted to go talk about is number 1, the LA riots. If you've been listening to my channel for a while, I have been talking about how when I lived on the street, unfortunately, I was involved with some not so good people. However, hanging out with these people, there's a lot of stuff that I learned because, when people that are doing criminal activity are amongst others they're doing criminal activity with, they often talk, especially if they think that the people that they're with won't be believed at all. So there's a lot that ends up getting spilled in rancid hotels in the middle of dark places. Anyway, for a long time, I knew that the Mexicans and the Chinese were pretty much working together to create a trifecta. They were going to attack us through social media to get us to fight amongst each other. They were going to integrate through our politics to be able to put people in place that would work for them when they needed them to work for them. And then they were going to poison the rest of them that they could with a mass amount of fentanyl and drugs. This is something that I actually mentioned. This was a trifecta that I've mentioned for 2 or 3 years now. I don't know if there's somebody in the Trump administration that went back and deep dived into all my freaking videos or what, but it seems like almost in clockwork, in reverse of the way I mentioned things are getting now taken care of. And it struck me as interesting because the LA riots, even though they're bad, started revealing a lot of what I was talking about, where Mexico doesn't, these people don't want to just live in America. Mexico wants to take over. It's like they want to take back their so-called land that they lost. If you look back in American history, America did go to war with Mexico over California, Arizona, and New Mexico. There's a reason that the state of New Mexico is called New Mexico. Do a little bit of research and deep dive into your history, and you'll find out that America and Mexico have actually had a long-standing war over territories. Modern times call for modern measures, and it wouldn't surprise me in the least that, why would I say that? It's correction. That was me talking without, it wouldn't surprise me in the least that people are figuring this out because now it's become so blatant. Anyway, during the LA riots, there's something that came to the forefront of information that hopefully the news will soon catch on with. But there is a connection between, if you haven't heard, there have been Chinese that have been caught smuggling in deathly fungi that could literally just wipe out our entire agricultural system. They're finding out that these Chinese have ties to the Mexican to this traffic system that's going on. They haven't, from what I understand, they haven't exactly found the depths of it yet, but they're onto it. It's going to get better from here on out, from what I hear. I did say at the beginning of the year that it was going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. Evidently, the karmic hammer wasn't just coming down for it's all coming to a head for everybody at the same time. If we were down a darker path, it would be a lot worse. Because as I said before, when I checked into this, when the LA riots started, I was like, you guys said we were going to go to civil war. This kind of looks like the start of civil war. If we were headed down the wrong path, civil war was going to break out. And my angels referenced, yes, but the civil war we were talking about was going to happen simultaneously in all the big cities, New York, like New York, Austin, Dallas, San Diego, LA, San Francisco. Like the fact that it's only happening in LA means that we've actually averted a very big crisis. My angels said, like, we can't avoid it completely. We never were going to be able to avoid it completely. However, the level of destruction that we can avoid was kind of the goal of the whole thing. From what I understand, though, and this is what kind of scares me, because if you keep an eye on Stefan Barnes' channel, my angels keep telling me that Mother Nature is going to help humans kind of work together towards the end of June. They keep mentioning, what is it that they keep mentioning to me? Okay, so what... I'm just going to say this prediction, and this is kind of how I used to do this, and because this is just going to be the easiest way to do it. Okay. What they're showing me is that the offshore volcano that is currently erupting off of Washington and Oregon is causing steam and water to go underground that a lot of scientists aren't catching because it's at the bottom of the ocean. Well, this steam and this water is actually following underground pathways and maneuvers through catacombs underground, and it's ultimately going to cause trouble in Yellowstone. I keep asking them if that means like the giant caldera in Yellowstone is going to blow like the movie 2012. I get silence on the other end whenever I ask that question. I have asked it repeatedly. I keep getting silence on it. Even now, just when I'm like checking in, like, so is there anything you want to add? No. Silence. So I have no idea what that means, but that's basically what they're showing me, is that whatever offshore volcano is currently erupting in Washington and Oregon is going to cause problems for Yellowstone, which inevitably is going to create some sort of situation that will cause kind of the whole world to pause and have to work together. I'm sure hoping that that doesn't mean that the circle of the ring of fire or the giant, like, I'm really hoping that I'm wrong. However, the planetary alignments, if you go to Stefan Barnes's channel, he's actually mentioned that around the same time that they're actually my angels are showing me this happen. Not only is the summer solstice happening, but also is the Islamic New Year. And also there's a planetary alignment where all of the planets, including Mercury, Mars, Venus, Saturn, Jupiter, all are in alignment. And then Pluto, Uranus, and Earth are in a trine. And the energies that are going to occur from that, because of the fact that we just had another solar mass ejection that actually swept across the entire backside of the sun and is basically pumping up the energies of both Mercury and Mars. And they're headed directly towards us. So their influence is coming to hit us soon. They're actually, like, my angels are referencing that, like, we were being judged. This alignment means that the gods are talking to each other and deciding our fate. And considering the sun has already popped off and energized Mercury and Mars, Mother Nature, like, the sun might be assisting Mother Nature in helping with the problems with humanity. Like, mom and dad might end up working together to help the children put themselves back in line, is what I'm trying to say. We'll see what happens towards the end of June, but that's what they're like. Everything's pointing in that direction. The underwater volcano off of Washington and Oregon is ticking up. The scientists actually have drones and underwater cameras keeping an eye on it because of how active it's being currently. And yeah, the sun is popping off the way it's like the sun is popping off as if it's throwing, like, helping throw a temper tantrum. We have a planetary alignment that's going to cause energies to just flux. We also just shifted into the month of Oak for the Irish month of Oak. We have a full moon today, which is causing a lot of forceful awakenings, I should say. So, guys, we have such, and it's summer, which means the sun's energy is at its strongest. Like, it's all coming to a head, truthfully, and it's probably all going to come to a head on June 22nd. We'll have to see what happens. I'm hearing June 22nd or June 27th, Not quite sure which one they keep repeating to me. I'm deciphering. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. There's a lot of them that keep saying the date, which is like, it's kind of funny when there's multiples of them talking in unison. It's actually harder to hear than when it's one individual angel. But like the fact that there's so many of them on the other side talking about this is actually what makes me nervous. On that note, I wanted to switch gears and talk about other predictions in regard to karmic hammers. Greta Thunberg was somebody that I've kind of been watching on the backside for quite some time, simply because she was introduced to me by Jack, my friend that lives in Ireland. If you haven't seen our live stream for St. Patrick's Day, I highly recommend it. It's quite funny. We'll also get a little controversial, so forgive me, but we're both Irish and we're both stubborn and we both had our opinions. However, Greta Thunberg was somebody that he had directed me onto, and I had started watching for quite some time because of the fact that she was, a couple years ago, quite the activist when it came to environmental issues. There we go. Well, if you haven't seen recently, I don't know if it's just the age of, I don't know if it's just being 22 years old, or if maybe there was a secondary influence from other people, or if somebody is suddenly getting sucked into the whole pull of social media and wanting to be famous. However, Greta Thunberg decided to take what they're now calling the selfie yacht over to Gaza with a half a truckload of humanitarian aid to deliver aid to the people in Gaza, and this was their whole mission. Not only did they break into the items that they were supposed to be donating to these people in Gaza in order to survive the voyage across, the seas, they also got detained, or as she put it, kidnapped, which frankly, I'm sure there's a couple million people out there who would prefer to be kidnapped the way Greta was versus how they probably were kidnapped themselves. Anyway, she was given Swedish sandwiches and water along with her whole crew. And then she was placed on a very comfortable plane and flown back to Sweden. Did the pilot of the plane decide to make a little comment that he's grateful that the Israelis protected the plane as they took off and flew through the air? Maybe. Does Kibby like this little bit of petty? Maybe. Does it also prove that Greta made a promise that she would fight for environmental rights? She shifted gears in order to get attention because she liked the attention. The karmic hammer of her instant fame dropped very quickly. And I found it very funny because I would have, personally, I was like, well, serves her right. And I kind of gave her the benefit of the doubt until I heard that she had an opportunity to educate herself on what has happened between Hamas and Israel. She was given the opportunity to see the other viewpoint or the other side of the argument. What does she do? She refuses. So, like I said, I don't know if this was necessarily just a stubborn 22-year-old who doesn't want to listen, or an actual activist, or maybe an attention-seeking child that has yet learned to grow up. But Greta Thunberg is a perfect example of why, to some of my clients, I keep telling you, you don't want the instant rise to fame this year. The last 10 years, the instant rise to fame worked. The Charli D'Amelio's worked. The TikTok Insta fame worked. However, since Pluto shifted into Aquarius, that's one of the changes that occurred. You do not want the Insta fame, because the Insta fame becomes Insta karma. And as quickly as you rose, that's how quickly you will fall. So for Brandy and a couple of my other clients, this is why I tell you, you want the slow and steady. You don't want the Insta fame. And Greta Thunberg is a perfect example of it. So on that note, we're going to jump into our next sprint. And this is going to be a 20-minute sprint. So when we get back, I am going to rant about the YMCA because, yeah, boy, we got two different conflicting stories. I went to YMCA here, same place, same location, gave my review already of what the heck happened to me. My mom goes just to pick up a schedule, and totally different experience for her. So we're going to be ranting about that after this 20-minute sprint. And then I've got a little bit of prediction and update on the Blake Lively and Justin Baldone case. So I will see you all in 20 minutes. And in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And before I mute myself, Amy, I'm at, because you're late to the show. It's easier for you to catch up this way. The 2.2.17.58 mark. And you know the video. And we are back from that sprint. Did we get any work done? Did we do anything fun? Did we go watch a movie? Did we watch a clip? Did we do some research on Greta Thunberg? Just asking. Anyway, because I only asked that because I had somebody send me a little message. So yeah, evidently somebody looked up Greta Thunberg during that sprint and they didn't believe me. Guys, I don't lie. You get to know me long enough. Some of my stories are conspiracies, and I'll say that beforehand. But when I tell you things, I don't lie. I'm not a liar. I don't lie, I don't cheat, and I don't steal. I think that's one of the 3 reasons, or those were the 3 reasons I think I survived on the street, and they also hated me on the street. Anyway, on that note of injusticeness, we're going to jump right into my little YMCA rant, because this is the one thing that has been probably irritating me the most, sitting in the background for here. So to get straight into it, to make a long story short, when I first went to YMCA, May 15th, around that time, I'll have to go back and look. I went in just to find out how much it would be to use the pool, because I figured I love to swim. It's a great way to stay fit, and they have an indoor pool, so I could use it during the winter. Well, I was checking to go basically see how much, just pricing and information. Well, when I walked in there, it was very clear to me that the young lady behind the table, or behind the little front desk area, judged me as soon as she saw me. The attitude she gave me, the information she gave me. If you want the long recap, go back and listen. But let's just say I got horrific customer service. Okay. To the point that she basically looked me up and down and gave me that look like you can't afford us, told me that it was $85 a month for memberships. And I kind of laughed at her, because I was like, yeah, this is the YMCA. I'm not paying $85 a month, and turned around and walked out. My mother went in to go get her schedule, because if you are part of Medicare, evidently you get a free membership to YMCA. A lot of seniors do use it. So does my mother. However, when she went in, she asked the front desk for a little bit of information regarding membership and everything else, in order to give, her daughter that lives with her. Why was she handed all of this? Number 1. Number 2, why was she handed this pricing sheet that does show the $85 a month, but also shows a reduced rate that I could pay? That also, with this extended information, and that on the back, or not on the back of there, where is it? On the back of here, basically states that you can be part of a low income program that can reduce your monthly rate down to, wait, what is it? The $40 a month that I said I'd be willing to pay for the YMCA. Now, explain to me why, just because I was probably dressed, and I will show you guys the dress, because Amy yelled at me about this, and I'm actually in the room that I have my closet in now. This was the dress that I was wearing, okay? With my cowboy boots, as I always do, all right? That was the outfit I was wearing. Because I live in Spokane, it was still cold. It was 63 degrees that day. I had my hair up in a bun, and I get looked up and down as if I can't afford, or couldn't afford, that location. But come to find out, they actually offer services that would allow me to afford it. Am I going to write a letter to the YMCA? Yes. Am I also going to tag them in this video? Yes, because as a 43-year-old woman, and that's another thing, I'm not 24, as a lady suspected. I am 43, and I'm getting so sick and tired. I almost want some wrinkles to come in, just so I can be like, look, I am old. gray hairs growing. I don't know, something. I shouldn't wish that, really. Honestly, I shouldn't wish that, because knowing my luck, it would probably double down, and next thing you know, I look like an old crone. But I wouldn't mind having some sort of way of being able to be treated my age and handed, like, I don't know, realistic paperwork informing me of all my options as an adult in regarding payment programs. Well, as I was picking this apart, there's something else that I wanted to point out, because YMCA is false advertising. And since I am ticked off at YMCA enough, I will point this out, okay? They have all these items listed, and I will go ahead and let you guys check it out. There is 29 items listed here, okay? You will see that I have arrows and everything connecting things, because the indoor 25-yard lap pool that they offer, along with the indoor lazy river, along with the indoor recreation, that are all separate options, are all the same thing. It's the same pool. They're not all separate pools. They've done this on so many things that ultimately, when you add up, there's actually only 12 items that they offer. There's actually only 12 services that they offer, and that includes the childcare. So if you reduce it down to the items that, as an adult with no children, would actually use, they are charging me $85. They want me to pay $85 a month for 8 services offered. And YMCA wonders why they are struggling in the 18 to 45-year-old department amongst single males and females. Well, there you go. There you go. Free childcare does not matter to people like me. Having a skate park, a child's skate park, doesn't matter to somebody like me. And not only that, but you can't offer state and city recreational locations as part of your services. The outdoor basketball courts, the outdoor pavilion, the outdoor racquetball courts, the cities. That is the cities, not their independent. I was so you best believe that there is going to be a very long, lengthy, detailed email tagged with multiples of my videos to YMCA in regards to this location in Spokane, because it is absolutely absurd and appalling that there were other options available and they are false advertising this freaking bad. I'm ticked. And honestly, I was going to let it go. But, and I love my mom. God bless my mom. When she texted me with all this information, I was upset. I was just like, that is unbelievable. That's not fair. That is so unjust. It is like that. That's the kind of stuff I talk about on my YouTube. And she was like, okay, never mind. Just forget about it. And I was just like, no, bring me the paperwork. So it was one of those things where I was like, okay, God put it in front of my face. I said my rant. I let it go. God has a tendency to make me fight his battles, and he will put them in front of me as many times as he has to for me to fight them, until I just finally fight them. I've learned after 43 years to recognize basically when it happens. The fact that it's a bigger injustice the second time around with even more information, yeah, God is pretty much like, can you say something about this? Because people have, like, my gut instinct is that people around here in Spokane are being screwed by the local YMCA because of the fact that they can, and there's nobody keeping an eye on it. And yeah, me contacting, because YMCA is a state-run, a federal-run, they get our tax money. So for them to be screwing us over, I'm sorry, what? Yeah. Yes. And that's why they're able to give free memberships to senior citizens and Medicare, is because they are a federally funded, not for-profit. So do your research if you didn't know that, because I feel like there's somebody out there going, YMCA doesn't get fed. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Look at it. It's kind of the same department as the Goodwill Services. Anyway. So on that note, we are going to jump into another 20-minute sprint, because I think I've rambled enough. Have I? No, No, I didn't. Okay, so the next thing I was going to, thank you, Amy. I just saw that. Thank you for yelling at me. I will take that down. Blake and Justin. She's evidently been waiting for this. Okay, so I have been watching this entire Blake and Justin case. Oh, no. No. I'm sorry. Just when I thought I was done, the program froze. And this is a new computer. And it's thrown. I'm telling you, girl, honestly, I think you need to get an external hard drive and just use your laptop as a processor and store everything on a separate hard drive. Because like we talked about early, my Final Cut Pro, just with the projects that I have going, uses over 100 gigabytes of running memory off of my computer. That's why everything that I have that is supposed to be stored is my computer's literally my $2,000 iMac computer that I literally bought in January is just used for running memory. I don't store anything on that CPU. It's all on a separate hard drive. And that might be something that you need to do. But this was also recommended to me because of the fact that video editing, for some reason, takes up so much running memory that it has to pull from the hard drive memory to process. It's weird the way it works, but yeah. Ever since I've switched everything to keeping it on an external hard drive and just using my CPU as a processor, I haven't had any run problems. And I'm running StreamYard on top of running Final Cut Pro, on top of GarageBand. Like, truthfully, the amount of crap that my computer runs, I test it on the daily basis. Do I like pushing limits? Maybe. At least I just push them this way now instead of other ways, right? I'm not skydiving and bungee jumping anymore. Blake Lively. Okay. Amy, do not yell at me in all caps. I am a Scorpio. I will literally jump into a sprint just to tick you off. Okay, I'm just going to warn you now. And I've been that kind of mood. So please play nice and I'll play nice. Okay, love you. But you are correct. Blake Lively. Blake Lively, this is okay. What I meant, blah, blah, blah. Been watching this from the beginning. I have been supporting Justin Baldone simply because I met Blake Lively. I dealt with Blake Lively personally in Hollywood. I'm one of those she would never even remember. Why? Because she's one of those. She definitely, she looks down. Like she would go into Trader Joe's and she would just completely look down on people. Like the world was there to serve her. Ryan Reynolds is not that far off from Blake Lively. That's why when this whole thing happened, I was behind Justin 100% because I was like, you need to blow the lid off of this. Why? Blake and Ryan started becoming the power couple in Hollywood, and it's not the kind of power couple you want controlling Hollywood, simply because they controlled much weight with an iron fist and manipulation, kind of like a Tootsie Roll character that is currently on trial. So there was it's through tactics of verbal manipulation that the women have learned to use masculinity against the men in Hollywood in order to. I have no problem with a woman being part or creating a movie. However, I have a problem with a woman stealing other people's creations. And that is what Blake Lively and several other people, not in her team, but along her level, are known for. Meghan Markle, one of them. So I have been backing Justin this whole time. A lot of people don't understand that when something in a lawsuit gets dismissed, that doesn't mean the entire case is dismissed. They are still going to be disposing Blake Lively. It is in this deposition that all of my predictions are going to come true. Amy. Basically, court of public opinion in this day and age is far more detrimental than the actual court. And like Amber Heard learned in the Johnny Depp case, it doesn't matter if you do illicit things. It doesn't matter if you party. It doesn't matter if you drink. Most people even general people, are very much aware of what the Hollywood lifestyle is and everything else. What it comes down to now is your character. And before social media and before, like, especially in the early 2000s, it was really easy to cover up who you really were and be able to orchestrate that facade on the outside level. There's too many people now that are able to do investigative journaling with current modern day devices such as phones, microphones, and recording devices that can make a good quality enough case to basically argue and prove you wrong. No, you're still not going to win in the Blake Lively case, no, Blake Lively is still not going to win in that case. Why? Because what they're trying to prove is that Blake tried to steal the video from Justin. And the way she did it was through basically defamation. And there's enough from what I can see, and this is me because I don't know what's actually going on in the case, and I have to link into it to actually look. But when I link into it, basically there's enough people that have come forward to basically vouch for Baldoni that when it comes down to it, no matter what facts and information Blake tries to bring up in paper or in text message, the verbal of the people is going to overpower or overrule whatever happens, and that's pretty much how it's going to pan out. So in the long run, it might be nobody's going to jail. It might be one of those things where they cut and dry both sides. Nobody wins, but nobody loses in the legal aspect of things. However, in the court of public opinion, Blake, there's no going to be recovering any of this. Now, if Blake tries to bring in the mental illness or the what's it called? What is it called? Emotional distress, I think it was. If she tries to bring that back in, it's going to open a whole nother can of worms, and then Justin will completely win. Right now, the way I see it is they've kind of got it to the point where they're both going to be in the wrong enough on both sides where it's going to be a cut and dry legally, but in the court of public opinion, Blake isn't going to be able to recover from this. This is going for Blake. It's going to be the same level of reckoning as Snow White and Rachel Zegler. So if you're curious about what kind of karmic hammer is about to come down for Blake Lively, that one. And if you have been paying attention to what is going on with Rachel Zegler, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we're discussing Miss Rachel Zegler's lawsuit here before the end of the year. Because I don't, even in the eyes of the law or in the eyes of a lawsuit, I don't see Rachel backing down. I feel like Rachel is going to be the Greta Thunberg of the entertainment industry by the end of the year. So evidently what is happening to Blake isn't even in comparison of what is going to happen to Rachel Zegler by the end of the year. It's like Meghan Markle is here, then Blake, and then Rachel Zegler. And it's literally going to go in that order because the karmic hammer for Meghan Markle already pretty much came down. Like, she's already pretty much lost everything. Blake Lively in the next 3 months is going to be exactly where Meghan Markle is now. And Meghan Markle is going to be even further down. And then we have Rachel Zegler, wow. And this is evidently going to be teaching a lot of things within this industry. This is going to be one of those things that flips the industry and changes things around. Hi. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah. I personally don't like Blake. I hope it does come down for her. Ryan is just as bad. If any of you ever want to know what Ryan Reynolds is actually like as a person, there's 2 movies that he starred in that he doesn't play a character. He plays himself. He actually acts 100% by himself. And you can listen to interviews behind the scenes of people who talk about it. And the movie is called Waiting. And the other movie is called Waiting 2. And it's Waiting. And it's about a restaurant called Shenanigans and a bunch of servers. And I'm gonna warn you now, it is not a movie for the softies. You definitely have to have a very crude sense of humor to be able to watch that movie. So On that note, we're going to jump into our 20-minute sprint because we're here to sprint, and this is going to be our last sprint. And when we get back, I have, which reminds me, when we get back, I do have, Brian, I have your cannabis information that you asked me to look at, so I will state that. And then, yeah, I'm going to giggle. I kind of want to talk about this the Elon versus Trump thing, because, yeah, I knew it was nothing. And guys, what I said might be coming true in regards to it revealing some snakes. So we will jump into that after this 20-minute sprint, and I will see you all in 20 minutes. In 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget All right. That's the end of our sprints for this session. How did we all do? I was able to assist. Somebody with something and discover the limits of how much our camera picks up. On that note, I also was able to get approximately that many pictures done and named, screenshotted and named. So I am trucking right along here. I see that Cora was able to get some work done, so we'll check in with her in the comments. If you guys are getting any work done and want some oomph or cheering along in regards to your work, put in the comments. Or if you have anything that you want to ask me about in regards to current events or join in the conversation, add it in the comments and I will go ahead and sometimes I go for a couple minute rants off of stuff you put in the comments. So I now have to look for a different video editor because the stupid video editor keeps freezing no matter what I do. Well, it might not just be the movie editor. Electronics are being funky. I see, and this is where it gets hard for me, because I actually was having the discussion with my mom earlier about how much the Apple computer is frustrating me and things like that, and how inevitably I want to switch to PC, but at the same time, I hear like everybody's struggling with PCs too. So I don't know if it's necessarily just your computer or if it's energies, truthfully. So on that note, I do want to thank the Liberal Hive Mind and the YouTube channel Liberal Hive Mind and the YouTube channel Trish Reagan for a lot of my information recently and lately. A couple of my channels that I used to get a lot of my information from decided to get very, very, very political. To the point that I'm not going to listen to, you're entitled to your opinion, but I'm not going to listen to hate rants. And I've had to go on a search for several new channels because I loved the information and the sources and everything else. However, some of the opinion rants got a little too opinionated for me. So, and teach their own. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. So it's probably a reason I only have 100 some odd followers, because wow, I'm opinionated. But on that note, Trish Reagan is amazing. Evidently, she's one of those like Megyn Kelly who got chased off of mainstream media because of the fact that she chose to stay truthful to herself. She didn't play around with the stupid game. She wanted to be honest and truthful and everything else, and she got chased off. But now she's a perfect example of how karma is retribution as well as a punisher. And her channel is exploding. Her podcast has shot up, and she's gotten a lot of retribution this year. Karma has definitely was not nice to her the last 10 years. And it's definitely like it's almost like God is saying, I'm sorry to her this year, just one thing after another. And I'm really happy for her. On that note as well, she's also very good. I kind of want to go back to school for journalism. That might be foreshadowing, guys. I might be going back to school here soon, either for film production, advertising, or journalism. Not quite sure which one I'm looking at yet. I already have my AA in arts and communications, so going into advertising just makes sense. Film production already because I'm doing it, but newsflash, guys, foreshadowing, I might be going back to school here soon. So it might not just be writing sprints. We might be doing homework sprints at 43 years old. Is that hard? Is this hard for me? Yes. Does true PTSD, panic, anxiety, and actual nightmares have started because of the fact that I did not do well in school, and school is not something that was ever positive for me? Yes, we've had major nightmares last couple nights over this. I guess it just also shows how truthfully and how honestly and seriously I'm considering it. I have money in a bank account that is untouchable unless it's for school. So it's not like I don't have the funds to be able to do it. It's just school. Truthfully, you guys, it comes down to the fact that I'm such a perfectionist and I have so much OCD and I am so hard on myself that going back to having somebody else grade me again has just caused a absolute panic and fear that I did not realize that I had in regards to school. So we'll see what goes on in the future. I have to, honestly, I was looking into community colleges around here in Spokane and what they have to offer. Not exactly up to the level of courses I'm hoping for or looking for. So I have to do a little bit more research, but yeah, I'm definitely being pushed in that direction, not only by maybe myself and life events, but maybe by other very supportive people in my life. So the Elon Musk and Trump situation. Here's what I'm going to tell you about this. It's going to be very short and sweet, Brian. And then I have your cannabis things. Yes, I left your notes for last. Okay, so basically, this is the best way to put it. Sometimes you have to use your volatility to your advantage. And sometimes in politics, being volatile, you yourself can expose others who are being snakes. There is something going on that isn't being revealed yet that has something like, and this is using my psychic in regards to all this. And oftentimes, guys, Brian, especially when I mention things and then I touch on things and then I don't mention them for a while, that's usually because there's stuff going on that I see happening and moving, and I would rather, like, I don't mind being wrong if I'm with you guys and I can ask you, hey, am I wrong about this? But being wrong or making false accusations, especially as a psychic when it comes to certain things, I like to be a little bit more careful. I mean, the TikTok psychic really did give us a bad reputation in that regards. So I try to be a little bit more cautious in regards to just, trying not to be defamatory, because I don't have any facts. But from what I can see using my psychic ability, and I could be wrong, there's a bigger something going on behind the scenes where causing the rift between Trump and Elon is going to expose a person or people that are playing both sides currently and not for the good reasons. So by doing this maneuvering, and by playing this role, people are having to choose sides. And in having to choose sides, they're exposing something about something. And inevitably, we're going to know. It's going to be a big deal. It has to do with manipulation of information and manipulation of secrets behind the scenes. So it's almost like Trump is getting on the bad side to be able to get access to files that are supposed to be hidden or secret. That's what I'm seeing. There's a way bigger picture at play here. And even the angels are referencing that there's only so much that they want to expose, because the energies need to be working in the right direction, because this needs to happen. Whatever is going to be exposed inevitably is something that is going to flip the script on everything. It's going to cause a lot of those Democrats that refuse to change sides. They're going to have to choose sides. They're going to have to, like, they're not going to have a choice. And, it's just a matter of time, and it takes time for buried information to come to the surface, basically, is what they're telling me. And sometimes you have to shift the waters around and ruffle up the bottom of the bottom layer of the soot in order for the real things to get exposed. And I'm not surprised, considering God ripped out the rug out of the rug's gone for everybody else. I mean, Hollywood is a perfect example of there's no more rug to sweep anything under. You can't hide anything anymore. You can't create a facade to try to bury the truth anymore. And if you look at political secrets, the amount that they're buried is kind of like an ocean, and stirring up those waves to get the soot going at the bottom of the ocean is going to be the best way to expose any information that's been buried under years and years of weight and time. So I guess using the ocean as they're using the ocean as an analogy to explain it. Also, you asked me, this is for Brian, specifically this is for you. You asked me about the cannabis stocks. Which ones looked most promising out of the 7 that you sent me? Green Thumb, True Lviv, and TerraSend were the ones that I saw were the most promising. There's something about Trulieve and Terrascend where like their connection to there shows to political. And I don't know if maybe those two companies have somebody who is working through the political side of the cannabis industry and trying to like talk to congressmen or representatives to actually push through the legalization of cannabis. However, I'm showing that those are going to be your three strongest bets. Your angels are referencing to split it up evenly. If you're not sure, split it up evenly. You have enough. So, on that note, I do have some good news, some other good karmic stuff to announce. David Beckham. Y'all like, what? David Beckham? Why are you talking about David Beckham? Because I have been a longtime Spice Girls fan. Yes, I was a huge Spice Girls fan, guys. I even saw Spice World in the theaters and dressed up like Sporty Spice with my best friend who dressed up like Baby Spice, with my other best friend who dressed up like Posh Spice, with my other best friend who dressed up like Ginger Spice. Yes, yes, yes. That's how obsessed with Spice Girls we were. Okay. I still know all the songs by heart. Stop right now. Anyway, so Eva Longoria, of course, married David Beckham. That's how we know this. Now, fast forward. David Beckham evidently has a huge, huge rift with Harry. Well, evidently this is known. What is not known that I know that blew my mind when I was like, wait, the reporter didn't report on this? Wait a second. No, you need to report on this if you're going to report on the feud between David and Harry. Meghan and Eva or not Eva Longoria. It's not Eva Longoria. Oh my gosh. David Beckham's wife. What is her name? I do this. Why do I do this every time? I always mix up Eva Longoria's name with what's her name? Victoria Beckham. I always mix it up. Eva Longoria, I always mix up with Victoria Beckham. Why? I don't know. Maybe they look alike in my head. Anyway, Victoria and Meghan hate each other. Absolutely loathe each other. Meghan has wanted Victoria's life for like 20 years. I'm telling you guys, they have had a long-going feud ever since they met as kids, dude. Like, well, they didn't meet as kids. Ever since the first time they met. Even before the first time they met, because I know for a fact that Meghan hated Victoria before they even met. But she has, like, literally, if there's anybody that Meghan would love to live in the shoes of, it's not Princess Catherine. It's actually Victoria Beckham. From the style, from the personality to her authenticity, all of it. Meghan for years has tried to be Victoria Beckham. She thought she one-upped Victoria by marrying Harry, which is why I always found it hilarious, because I was just like, no, I'm even gay, and I'm a lesbian, and I'd take David over Harry. So anyway, King Charles has decided that he's going to go ahead and kind of backhand his own son by giving David Beckham something that the Queen denied him of simply because him and Harry were feuding. David Beckham is now Knight David Beckham. He got his knighthood. I'm like, I can't think of a better way to stick it to Meghan and Harry than that. Because I can tell you right now, Catherine can do anything she wants. There is the way Meghan hit her knees and the floor. I don't know this for a fact. I'm just thinking that, like, knowing how these two feud, when she found out that Victoria is now married to a knight, the god-awful curdling scream and fall to her knees that she probably dramatically did. Oh gosh, I would have loved to have seen it, honestly. No, I don't like Meghan. Why? She's not the nicest of people. She's really not. Personal experience, She's not a nice person. And I've met some not so nice people. I've met guys. I worked in Hollywood. I grew up in Hollywood. I know Hollywood peeps. There's a certain type of person where there's certain type of way you have to conduct yourself to be a Hollywood elite. I understand that, but that doesn't mean you have to be an absolute snood and a total B. And yeah, I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow and there's Gwyneth Paltrow is actually a perfect example where you can be kind of snooty, but not a total bitch, if that makes sense. So, and Megan, purple convertible. That's all I'm going to say. Inside story. You know. I might someday share those stories on Patreon. Like there's certain stories I'm sure I'm keeping for just my friend circle or for Patreon. Anyway, so that is the end of our stream. And I still have a lot of work to do. So it's the end of our stream, but it's not the end of my work. But since it is the end of our stream, go ahead and like and subscribe. Strike that. Reverse it. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. For any of you that want to join in the comments for next time, please do. I do enjoy responding to you guys. I do enjoy entertaining you. So it'll give me a little bit more to rant on instead of feeling like I'm just ranting to nothing. Anyway, for those of you that did come in, thank you so much to my Cora. I appreciate it. To Amy, I love you. To Brian, appreciate it. To the rest of you that I didn't see or don't know that came in, thank you so much for coming in. And to all my new subscribers, thank you. And for the rest of us that know, pick up your glass. It's time for that end of the stream tears. May your angels be strong. May your karma be positive. No, what is it? May your angels be strong, may your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. There we go. I need to write it down, you guys. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great night. Bye.